John Davis, and this is Motor Week.
Join us as we slip into the renewed style and luxury of the Buick Encore. Pat Goss has the tools to keep you on the cutting edge of car care. Zach Maskell gets his total Corvette on. Then it's more of every kind of performance in the Porsche 911 GTS.
So come drive with us next.
Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine.
The Buick Encore was an early entrant into what has become a crowded and highly competitive subcompact luxury crossover segment. So in order to maintain its early lead, it gets a few updates, ones that should keep it Buick's #1 selling vehicle, as well as keep competitors on their toes.
We've been admirers of the Buick Encore since it first arrived for 2013. GM was clearly ahead of the small luxury crossover trend. But with so many other brands jumping into the segment, it didn't take long for Encore to look a little stale. This 2017 edition is more than just a flashy refresh, however, with significant updates that should have plenty of fans calling for another Encore. But starting with the sheet metal, everything forward of the A-pillars is new. Most prominent is a rounder nose, sporting Buick's new winged grille. Both hood and fenders are smoother. This more modern design is clearly better looking, but we have to say it is also less distinctive than before. Inside, just about everything in front of the driver has been updated. The dash layout is enhanced, getting a more cockpit-style form. Upgraded materials, and better fitment for the new 8-inch color touchscreen. Some built-to-price reminders remain, and it's still nowhere near as luxurious feeling as competitors like the Lexus NX, but all in all, it's a big improvement. Keyless entry with push-button start are new, as are the 4.2-inch color info display in the gauge cluster, and available Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Rear seat room continues to be tight, but adult space is more than plentiful up front. Cargo space remains merely adequate at 18.8 cubic feet, 48.4 with seatbacks folded, though the Encore is one of the few remaining vehicles that also has a fold-flat front passenger seat for toting longer items. For 2016, Sport Touring trim arrived, and with it, more power for the 1.4-liter i4 Turbo. It now outputs 153 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque. The 138 horsepower version remains standard, as does a 6-speed automatic transmission. Active on-demand all-wheel drive is available. While we didn't find that base engine underpowered previously, the Sport's added pep is much appreciated, especially for highway merging. You feel like you have a little more control over your situation. Now, Encore is not as refined feeling on the road as its larger Buick crossover siblings, but it is noticeably quieter than chassis-made Chevrolet Trax. Put it to the test at the track, this Encore gets to 60 well over a second quicker than the original at 8.6 seconds. There's enough torque for a snappy launch, but things taper off pretty significantly on the top end. Factor in slow, momentum-killing shifts from the transmission, and the quarter mile seems to take a lot longer than the indicated 16.6 seconds at 83 miles per hour. Not exactly thrilling, but again, over a second faster than before. Nothing changes in the chassis department, so the surprisingly fun and nimble nature that we praised is still in effect. Here is where you notice the Encore's opal design roots the most. Push too hard, however, and traction control is quick to shut the party down. Steering is quick, has good weight, and even decent feel. Body roll is relatively minor. 115 feet was our average stopping distance from 60, with good stability and only slight fade after repeated runs. Government fuel economy ratings for our sport touring all-wheel driver are 26 city, 31 highway, and 28 combined. So our 27.8 miles per gallon average on regular was right on. Slightly better than average for the energy impact score, using 11.8 barrels of oil yearly with annual CO2 emissions of 5.2 tons. Pricing starts at just $23,915, though for that you get front-wheel drive only. The cost for adding all-wheel drive varies as you escalate the trim levels from there. If you want heated seats, you'll have to step up to Essence trim, putting you close to $30,000. Without a doubt, the Buick Encore has been a big success, so making it more appealing to more people seems like a no-brainer. That's what GM has done, and it's sure to keep the band playing on. Our success story this week takes us to Asheville, North Carolina, where they're driving on sunshine. Brightfield Transportation Solutions has deployed over 100 EV charging stations in North Carolina and beyond. Some are standalones, while others, like this one at Earth Fair, a regional grocer, integrate solar power. The 8 solar panels can provide up to 15,000 miles of zero-emission solar-powered driving every year.
If you drive an EV and you're powered off of the average grid mix in America, you're going to see a 60% reduction in your greenhouse gas emissions. If you go to driving on sunshine, it's a 100% reduction.
Retailers, universities, and cities purchase Brightfields to attract EVs, showcasing their clean energy commitment and building goodwill. With help from the Land of Sky Clean Vehicles Coalition, more stakeholders are investing in EV charging stations to keep the Tar Heel State's highlands bright.
Just follow the American flags and the burnout marks, and like our over-the-edge guy, Zach Maskell, you'll wind up at the world's biggest all-Corvette show. So let's tag along with Zach as he pops the hoods on both the cars and the judges' heads to get an inside look at what it takes to drive away with a trophy for the best plastic fantastic.
From this 1953 Corvette cutaway to the minty fresh revived Stingrays of today, the 35th anniversary of this 4-day show includes burnout competitions, part installs, and special guests like Reeves Calloway.
Around 60,000 fans from around the world gather here at Carlisle, Pennsylvania. There's over 5,000 Corvettes with every year and model being represented.
People come from all over the world. They come from Australia, they come from New Zealand, they come from Europe. And then they come locally from the Mid-Atlantic and points west of the Mississippi, and they all want to come to celebrate America's sports car.
Although 1 million vets have been made, the Holy Grail has not been lost. In 1967, GM wanted to build a pure drag and road racing car to compete against Porsche and Ferrari.
They came up with this, the L88.
20 were made that year, 16 are known to still exist, and 8 are right here. And I found a common theme around the Carlisle Fairgrounds. No one would even consider selling me their car.
Now, as long as I got my health, it's going to stay with me for a long, long time because I'm just blessed to have a piece of history like this.
With these few worth around $30 million collectively, even if I had the dough, I can understand why.
Rags down. Rags down means stop cleaning your car or you will be disqualified.
We're walking around the best of the best.
Looking for fit and finish.
Fit, finish, dirt, dust.
Judge for cleanliness.
Tasked with determining the winner of each class. Preserved originals, full restorations, and this modified car.
Again, we're not allowed to touch the car. We're not allowed to touch the ground or kneel. We can only see what we can see from leaning over.
Glass looks good. No cracks, no scratches.
This owner bought her coupe brand new, then regrettably sold it.
My son found it in a local newspaper, and he said, call this number. So I called the number, bought it back. So I paid sales tax on it twice. So Governor loves me.
All right, so we have a 2016 Stingray here. What are we going to be looking at, and what class is this in?
This class